Nice try, Diddy. Diddy party. Diddy simulator. Freaky Diddy simulator. Like all of what the?
Huh? Kaboom. Ooh. I say moo, I say moo.
Do you like to start and end your day being cozy without a care in the world? Same. That's why I have this pair of comfy pajamas and these little guys for. Wait, what? You're telling me that you don't have a cute little cow sphere to cuddle with at night? Let's fix that. 9 inches tall and just as wide with the most adorable face, this absolute unit of a plushie will improve your sleepy time, no doubt. Side effects may include excessive cuddling, spontaneous mooing, and uncontrollable urges to purchase additional anime cow merchandise. Individual results may vary. Isn't he cute? You can get your own by clicking on the link in the description. Do make sure you get it sooner rather than later. They are in limited supply, and once they're gone for good. Thank Moo for listening. And now, back to your daily dose of cow. Kaboom! So this is the follow-up video from Schlep. And it says, Roblox, take a seat. Oh boy, oh boy.
Roblox isn't a place where we filter all the text and the voice, where we monitor for critical harms, where there's no image sharing or any of the things that might happen from that.
I want to start off by saying that we all want to keep Roblox safe. We share this view, and we know that there's members of our community who feel strong.
Oh man, I feel like there's some cinematic about like the quality of this. Oh boy.
About that too, and you know what? We welcome them as part of the dialogue about how to keep Roblox safer.
I want to highlight
yeah, geez, this intro, man.
Is one of our top priorities, and we're not waiting for the law.
Oh, he spin.
We've innovated with age estimation on our own because we want to keep people on our platform.
Damn.
This whole situation is
right to Roblox dense forehead.
Kind of crazy.
Everybody go donate to this boy Schlep.
This is probably the worst decision this company has ever made.
Hashtag free Schlep on God. Yeah, they actually need Schlep.
Like it is very good to see so many people, you know, coming to support him or spread the story, but it's also sad that it took this long to do anything and it got this bad before anybody, you know.
I'm wishing Schlep the best.
Roblox, you need to do something.
There's got to be something done.
Nobody at Roblox listens to us. I'm frustrated, man. I'm frustrated.
Why should we support a platform that is taking steps to prevent predators from getting caught?
Bro, that was another veto, but that was Kenji, man. He said so true.
Roblox has just lost $12 billion in market value following their response to their cease and desist letter against me. Just for context, I'm someone who's gotten 6 predators within their community arrested in real life. That loss, though, isn't on me. It's a direct result of Roblox's own response to its child safety crisis. Instead of addressing the real issues, Roblox has doubled, tripled, even quadrupled down. They've put out statements after statements painting me and my team as reckless vigilantes while claiming that their platform is safe, when it absolutely
The victim blaming in this is insane to me. The fact that they call them vigilantes, even though they're doing everything that... Basically, if you had a vigilante, you would point to Schlep and say this is the correct way to handle it. And why vigilantism doesn't work. It's so ironic that they handle it this way.
Is not. People are just seeing through this. And that's why a huge movement has started online called Free Schlep. It's been trending everywhere. Multiple members of Congress have now called out the company's child abuse problem. And the Attorney General of Louisiana has filed a giant lawsuit against the company for, and I quote, prioritizing user growth, revenue, and profits over child safety. The day after—
Dang, that is crazy. Roblox is obviously worse. But, like, there's so many companies who care about nothing but profit, you know? And so it's just, yes, absolutely.
After the Attorney General's lawsuit was filed, Roblox's market value dropped by $12 billion. In response, the company scrambled to roll out new policies targeting the very not safe for work games featured in the lawsuit and my video.
One of them said Diddy Party, what the
policies targeting the very not safe for work.
Like, how is this? This is what I mean. Like, why is Diddy not whitelisted or blacklisted as a word? Like, my brother in cries. Nice try, Diddy. Diddy party. Diddy simulator. Freaky Diddy simulator. Like, all of what the?
games featured in the lawsuit and my video, like for instance bathroom simulators. Mind you, the community has been calling out these games for years now, but still, even after everything, instead of removing these blatantly inappropriate experiences, Roblox simply slapped a 17+ label on them. They also launched—
Bro, so let me get this straight. Like, how does this happen? I would just walk up and be like, okay, so now that there's a 17+ label on it, so let me get this straight. You're saying as long as I'm 17 or older, that it's fine to be in a Diddy simulation on your game. I mean, like, did they not think about this? Like, it's not that hard to...
launched a ban wave against some of the worst games they've knowingly hosted for years. Games that have led thousands of children to getting extorted, and worse. Roblox's actions are nothing more than damage control for the problems they've allowed to fester, when the entire community was screaming at them to fix these problems. And the community saw that killing the messenger was an act of war. Shortly after these changes,
because basically, okay, the dumb logic they're using, okay, I'm not saying it's correct in any way, but the dumb logic is, if I never acknowledge the problem, then I'm not guilty for the problem. Which doesn't work great here. It's the same logic you have, like, if you get in a car accident, you say sorry even though you didn't do anything wrong. It's like they can blame you.
Roblox released a video so bad that it was community noted on Twitter twice. David Bazuki—
oh my, you can community note something twice? I didn't even know that could happen.
the CEO of Roblox, Matt Kaufman, the Chief Safety Officer of Roblox, and Eliza Jacobs, the Senior Director of Product Policy, did a 45-minute tech talk. Most of this is just corporate jumbo, but they go ahead and respond directly to their vigilante policy. Before I show this, I want you to remember,
I hate this idea. Let me respond to the vigilante policy. Why? It's like he's not a vigilante though. Like search Google anybody who works at Roblox. He's not a vigilante. It's like, here, let's talk about apples when the problem is an orange. Like, I just feel like they're doing this because they think people are dumb and won't notice this, even though it does not take a genius to figure this out.
I'm the only person that Roblox has targeted with this vigilante policy that they just created. Not even my team was moderated or given any legal letter. I begged for a clear line and even offered to keep much of my work private to help, and I'm no way obligated to do that, but instead they went straight after me, moderating my accounts and sending a cease and desist before I could even react to the policy.
Yep. So this is the problem, right? Is that this also just further proves there is something going on. Because if it wasn't a problem, you wouldn't need to shut him up. You would not need to shut him up if what he was saying was not true. And you're afraid of him talking.
Let's be clear about one thing. I'm not a vigilante. That means I'm taking the law into my own hands. We work with law enforcement.
There you go. Hold on, there's the definition.
Not a vigilante. That means I'm
a member of a self-appointed group of citizens who undertake law enforcement. Not seek out law enforcement in order to reprimand criminal acts, but undertake law enforcement, aka become cops without having any authority to do so. That's the difference. Yeah, see, in their community without legal authority, typically because the legal agencies are thought to be inadequate.
taking the law into my own hands.
Yeah, the problem is that the legal help is adequate, actually. That's the thing that Roblox likes the least.
Work with law enforcement, which is why we have arrests. Roblox refuses to say my name because they'd have to acknowledge those arrests. But make no mistake, they're
treating him like Voldemort then? They won't say Schlep's name. They're treating him like Bloody Mary, where if you say it 3 times, they're gonna have a problem.
responding to the outrage, which is about me, and this is what they had to say about it. They first start off the interview by talking about how vigilantes started out as a good thing.
Both inside of Roblox, and I think that there are lots of people outside of Roblox who really have the best intentions and the welfare of our community at heart.
Yeah, well then you should feel really bad for the fact that they're going to be lumped in with, like, however many of you are bad actors. If there's one good actor among, like, 200 bad ones, or 90 out of 200 are bad actors and 10 good ones, they're also going to be victims of this. It's probably going to affect them getting future jobs, too.
We all want to keep Roblox safe. And you know what? We welcome them in part of the dialogue about how to keep Roblox.
No, you don't. I'm sorry. No, you don't. If you did, you should talk about You should say you're working with police to find out better ways to do this on their platform. You're hiring extra help. You're looking into, you know what I mean? It doesn't look like they're talking directly with law enforcement.
Safer. And we have members of the community in these vigilante groups that started off in a really good place. They started off by saying like, hey, they're reporting on issues on Roblox. They're talking about how we could do better. And, we paid really careful attention.
This statement
No, you didn't, because otherwise you know that he wasn't a vigilante. And to stop using that word when it doesn't make sense.
is just laughably hilarious. If Roblox is really paying attention, then what about when my mom emailed you guys about my own shooting case? What did you do then? Nothing. Actually, you kept paying the guy for years afterward until you were literally forced to do something about it.
So that guy just stayed with a job in their company. Oh my god.
If what Roblox was claiming was actually true, them listening to the community, why are the biggest content creators leaving your exclusive YouTuber program in protest of how you're moderating your platform? And I'm gonna actually bring up something later in this interview to show.
Also, that's pretty bold. Like, W on them, by the way. Leaving a channel behind, like, this is probably a huge portion of their income, chat. Like, he's got 5.82 million subscribers. That's probably a huge undertaking, you know? They shouldn't even have to do that, really. It's not like they're the problem. It's not like they did this, right?
Protest of how you're moderating your platform. And I'm gonna actually bring up something later in this interview.
W creators, that's all I'm saying. W to them.
To show you how much of a joke this is. This here is Meep City, one of the most controversial games on Roblox. Creecraft, one of the largest Roblox YouTubers, joined this game and within 4 seconds was exposed to not safe for work content. The community has been complaining about this game for almost a decade now. But
I wonder also, okay, outside of this, since a lot of this is being looked into more thoroughly, I wonder how many cases they're gonna dig up from underground, because I bet you this has been going on. I bet you it never wasn't going on. It would be my guess.
Roblox has still continued to leave this game up and platform it. CEO David Baszucki mentions this game by name, and
what is Meep City? What do you do? So, like, the bathroom ones, it's like, obviously, I know why that's bad. But what's bad about Meep City? Is it just a more popular map, and therefore, because there's more people that use it, like, you're more likely to see degenerates fishing, doing tasks, earning coins, building a home? Oh, so there's a lot more social stuff in it. That's what it seems like, right? Because I've heard that some of the other maps on Roblox are like games, right? I'm sorry, I haven't played it, but like Squid Games, for example, they have like maps for that, and that's more of like a game. So this is more of like a social map compared to like a game. Right.
Here's their philosophy on this.
I can see some of our community naming experiences on Roblox and just say, take it down, take it down, take it down. I'd say examples could be Meep City, for example. Can you share, like, why should that be up? Should that be down? Like, what's up?
I think one thing that's really challenging on this global immersive interactive platform is that we have content created by developers and creators and content created by the community, by the users that are in that game. And one thing that we really try to do is be fair to our developers and to not moderate them for the behavior of their users.
Yeah, but you can't do that if you have a social platform. It's like having an MMO and then not reprimanding what goes on in there.
This is a crazy math problem. This is so simple. The creator of this game wants these people in their game. How is this even controversial? The developer is giving the tools to the player to make this inappropriate content. And that is the problem with Roblox. Roblox turns a blind eye unless the developers are blatantly making not safe for work games. And even then, it is still on the line if Roblox will take action. Roblox.
Yeah, because again, I think the whole idea is like, if I don't take action, then I don't admit there's a problem.
Might have just went back on their word regarding Meep City. This game had every inappropriate feature removed from it pretty much overnight. It's unknown if Roblox made Alex Neutron, the creator of Meep City, do this, but either way, it shows the public pressure is working. Games that Roblox is doubling down on are folding. So that's why it's really important to keep speaking up about this.
Yes, absolutely. Because if they won't be accountable, they will be held accountable by people that are bigger than them that can hold them accountable, right? One individual person with no authority cannot hold them accountable, but law enforcement can. And so I think it's really important. I think one of the good things that comes out of this is schlep is an example of why vigilantism is not nearly as good as doing everything with the correct channels, right? Like, yes, it took them so long to do this, unfortunately, but I mean, Schlep is only one person, and him doing this correctly is why we're getting this far, is why they're being held accountable. Like, imagine if Schlep really was a vigilante, how this might have fallen on deaf ears, and how people might have continued to be swept under the rug, right? So I just think the good thing about this, right? Maybe this will help people realize the right way to do things, and that it really does, it really can make a difference.
Then we
Right.
saw something change. What we saw is that some of these groups started engaging with the community in ways that violated our policies. And so let me explain what that means. They would go and create accounts on Roblox claiming to be a child.
Roblox keeps repeating this same talking point, that I'm impersonating and pretending to be a child. But here's the
See, I feel like, okay, I'm sorry for pausing so much. I feel like people do this a lot of times. They just keep using a word like that, and they kind of like ingrain it in people's brains as absolute fact. And then sometimes this works if people have enough community trust, and then if people just repeat it. And I feel like they're using it because vigilantes are like, that word makes them unaccountable, right? Legally, the word vigilante means they're not doing it right. This person is a bad actor, a person who means well, but is actively actually harming children more than if he had it, right? Like, they're using this term to cut him out as a bad actor, as a bad person, who isn't handling things correctly, but means well, right?
reality. You have to pretend to be a child, because if the predators knew they were talking to an adult, that wouldn't even be a crime. You guys seem to be more upset that I'm pretending to be a child than predators are
Yep, he's so right, though. He's so right.
Our decoys. And if it wasn't our decoys, it would be a real person. It's also worth noting that the FBI, ICAC, and local law enforcement all use these same exact tactics. Would Roblox be willing to send them a cease and desist too? And their
Yeah, try to do that.
claim that I'm impersonating children is flat out false.
That's a new one. That's a new one. You are impersonating a child, and therefore I'm a victim for being a creep. It's like, what the fuck?
From the very beginning, we've never used real kids. We don't send pictures of real children, and we create totally new identities where every single photo that's sent is of someone that is of age. The only difference is we tell these people that we are underage. This is flat out a lie, what they're claiming. But what happens next is so wild that the CEO of Roblox cuts off the chief safety officer.
Oh my.
And then they
Surely this guy has nothing but good intent and only cares about keeping children safe on the platform.
enter into game
Goddamn.
servers, and they would go and start asking everybody around them, how old are you? And they were seeking out adults.
By the way, this is a common behavior with kids. I don't know if you guys have ever been in like a lobby on like any PvP game or anything like that, and you could clearly tell it's a kid because they're like, how old are you? Where are you from? And then a lot of times they'll just say their age, and it's like, okay, chill. Like, don't give out your personal information, okay? I remember, I think it was like Valorant. There was a kid on there, and I was like, don't give out your personal info, okay? That's dangerous. Don't do that, okay? I think I reported it at the time too. But yeah, it's basically what I mean is like, it's very common for kids to ask people their age. Like, they don't, I mean, at least from what I've seen, okay? When I was little, I played a little bit of Club Penguin for a time, and everyone's like, how old are you? Are you a girl or boy? Do you have long hair? My eyes are blue. Like, is it just me? But like, I like how this is incriminating. Just to ask, like, just because somebody asks people's name in a game. If you don't want that, you need to make that against your TOS to ask people personal information.
If you said that you were, move on. But if you said that you were 25, then they would start engaging in conversations, and they would try and use those conversations.
His face, bro. I'm sorry, but like, he's like, wait. Look at this. Look at him. He's like,
conversations, and they would try and use those conversations to simulate.
Matt, is this anecdotal? Because I know we have
sorry, did I say too much?
chat logs for all chat on Roblox and historical records. Are you able to kind of
David,
I like how it's not okay. So if you, in my opinion, okay, if this was going on your platform, what you would say is, yeah, we noticed this was happening. And so what we did in order to prevent this, because we realized it was an issue and looking into chat logs, is A, B, C, and D in order for this not to happen again. And we really appreciate, you know, chatters coming forward and making us aware of this, because we were not aware how prevalent this was and how this was being used as a tactic. So you know, having the public reports keep us updated on new ways that people could be obfuscating bad acts on our platform or trying to move it to other platforms. But instead, notice he doesn't say like this is a problem. Immediately, he's like, "Are you sure? Do you have proof though?"
For all chat on Roblox and historical records, are you able to kind of
Is this real? Is there historical? I need to see the logs to know if it's real. Never mind, I won't say that.
David totally derails that conversation. That statement is probably the most wild made by Matt Kaufman in this whole interview. To simulate what, Matt Kaufman? Because it's not simulation. These are predators thinking that they're talking to someone that is real. And
oh my god. He's like, "Can I have the chat logs? I'm not going to delete them for sure."
they a lot of times want to show up.
Can I see the historical chat logs with all of the information about it that I could definitely get rid of?
Person and do stuff to them in real life. And in my opinion, this show.
Yep. Like, this is a problem. Because, like, the other thing is, right, is like, imagine how many real people would be affected. Because, by the way, like, the questions he was asking, like I said, I think they are questions that are very possible a real kid would ask them.
Shows how little Roblox actually cares about this problem. They can say whatever they want. They can talk about all the new safety features that they're rolling out, but it means nothing if lawsuits are being filed every single week against the company and headlines are making the media about a new horrible situation happening because of this platform. I also want to say how they totally mischaracterize how I run my decoy operation. We are never the first to engage with any of the predators.
Yeah, the fact that they acted like, again, they're trying to represent him as a vigilante, right? So they're trying to go with like, oh, he reached out to them first. Like, he initiated the problem.
They always contact our decoy account first.
So we saw these actors, they're pretending to be kids, they're trying to find adults, and then what they're doing is they're trying to move the conversation as quickly as possible to other platforms that don't have the type of monitoring and policies that Roblox has.
How do you know this is going on? Like, look at this, look at his face at the bottom. He's like, we can't just act like we totally know that people are being creepy and moving them to other platforms. We can't just say that so matter-of-factly, like we already knew about it. And we've chosen not to do anything. I feel like this is, like, look at his face. I could be, you know, I could be wrong, but I feel like that's an admission that they didn't want.
And then they were using that activity that happened on other platforms to create situations that they would then video, they would report to the police, and then only after would they let Roblox know.
Roblox is accusing me of encouraging adults to talk inappropriately to people they shouldn't. That is not true, and if it was true, I wouldn't have a single arrest. We
Yep. Oh.
present ourselves as a naive
He wasn't even a good actor. He just said too much.
kid who doesn't know about these topics. Crimes like this should obviously be reported to law enforcement first, not Roblox. If Roblox is notified before the police, they can delete accounts, tip off the predators that are being investigated, and give them a chance to erase valuable evidence that the police need to prosecute.
Okay, so I'm not the first person. I'm not. Okay. That's what I was saying earlier, is like the way this guy is acting is like he really wants to know where that historical evidence is. And I feel like that gives me a hunch that he wants to get rid of it before law enforcement sees it, you know, so he's not accountable.
The fact that these predators are on the platform to begin with shows that their safety systems have failed. If Roblox did their jobs, there wouldn't be anybody for us to find. Roblox also claims that I'm moving these players to other platforms, but those platforms are linked directly on Roblox's own site. Roblox is actually
Wait.
Roblox also claims that I'm moving these players to other platforms, but those platforms are linked directly on Roblox's own site.
I like how they tried to make it like, oh, they're doing this on purpose. They're moving them off the platform and like to these other devious sites that don't reprimand bad acts like we do. Meanwhile, it's like their own site is linked with this and it is encouraged to go off platform. You know what I mean? Like They do not even discourage the off-platform behavior. They make it easier to do.
Roblox has actually even partnered with some of those platforms.
Oh. Uh-oh.
They even own a bot on that other platform.
I can't. I can't. This is so damning. Whoa.
Anyone can make an account 13 plus and see social media links on Roblox. And unsurprisingly,
oh my God. That's it. How do you do this? So many platforms don't allow this, by the way. Having social media links that you could directly click on. And these are the majority of top Roblox games even. This isn't like one with like 5 players ever that just happened to go under the radar. This is like the main games they like allow this with.
People in real life have been abducted because of this feature that Roblox allows. And when they say I'm creating these situations, that's just insulting. I'm not creating situations. These predators are trying to grab people within your community.
And there's a bunch of issues in here. Number one, the violation of our policies about being honest about how old you are. Number two, moving conversations off platform. And number three, waiting to tell Roblox when they identified violative behavior to come and tell us so we could take action.
Nope, that's bad. Yeah, you have to pinky swear you're of the correct age. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah, because kids never lie on the internet. Tell us first. We definitely won't get rid of actual victim information that could be used by law enforcement in order to make it so we aren't incriminated.
In Matt Kaufman's own words, in articles about vigilantes, he said law enforcement officials are best positioned to investigate potential crime. So why is he criticizing?
Yeah, what do you mean? With that in mind, then everything's been going as planned. You're welcome.
Criticizing us for going to the police first. And it's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say with that phrasing, then you should be thanking Schlep because he did exactly what you're saying to do.
Not like we're not even reporting these things to Roblox. We do. We give Roblox the same Google Drive that we give to the cops. They have the first.
Yeah, look, they have the exact same info.
First chat log till the very end where they're in handcuffs. And we have numerous fully documented instances where Roblox refused to take action until after we released videos that got millions of views. Also,
yeah, that's crazy. So it seems like he's saying he gave them both the information at the same time, right? So at any time during this process, they could have said, hey, which police department did you reach out to? We want to work directly with them, right? Like at any point in time, it seems like Roblox had the option to work directly alongside law enforcement then, right? But they never did.
Waiting to tell Roblox in general is a policy violation? If you were on Roblox and went straight to the authorities instead of reporting it to Roblox first, could you technically be violating Roblox's terms of service?
I think some of these groups started off in a really good...
Yeah, I don't know if you could enforce that. I feel like there's, oh man, some companies will write anything, like write the strangest stuff in their TOS and it's like, okay, but you can't really enforce that, you know?
Place, and they started off, you know, really, and
there's a certain point where law doesn't allow you to do that, and the law overtakes any type of TOS you think you have, right?
They still do really care about the community. The actions that they were taking were putting our community at greater risk and were violations of our policy.
He says
Bro, he looks so mad. I'm sorry. Look at it. Look at the other guy's face.
They still do really care about the community. The actions that they were taking were putting our community at greater risk and were violations of our policy.
He says I'm putting the community at risk. Roblox even went as far to accuse me and my team of being similar to predators. Think about that.
Yeah, similar to actual predators, they often impersonated minors, actively approached other users, then tried to lead them to other platforms to have explicit conversations, which is against our terms of use. Yeah, okay. I mean, to them, he probably is.
They're implying I am preying on predators. So to Matt Kaufman and David Baszucki, I'm very sorry for preying on the predators of your platform and getting them arrested and put in handcuffs because I didn't ever want to see kids go through what I went through.
These actors that were coming on the platform, they were reaching out to dozens and dozens of people, and the vast majority of those people were not responding to those engagements, and frankly, were harmed in that process.
I'm gonna show you this predator I caught. I sent a message in the chat, and I got this guy messaging me.
Yes, okay, how old are you? I asked him back how old he is, and he says he's older than 18. I tell him I'm years old. Do you mind me being younger? No, not really. If you can keep it a secret between us, though.
Bro. And then they're gonna be out here like it's his fault. It's his fault. He's the problem, can't you see? Not the guy that's completely creepy and okay with talking to someone who's, you know...
And he does Predator Strat 101. He asks for my Snap or Discord. And the reason why he's asking for Snap is because
Immediately, look at that. Look at the line of thought. Immediately straight to the let's go off platform.
the messages delete. I tell him Discord, and I get on Discord with him, and the messages begin right away.
Throughout that entire process, where did I harm anyone? Because the real harm was Roblox letting this game exist on their platform.
Yeah, so the way that they would handle it is they would say he's at fault because he said he was an age he wasn't, and not the guy being completely creepy. It needs to be a real victim.
For years. It only disappeared after Hindenburg, an investment research firm, went ahead and exposed Roblox for hosting this experience. And conveniently, it vanished the moment they showcased this predator catch. Notice as well.
Wait, what?
Experience. And
oh my god, so this is another time where this blew up as a bigger thing, where people tried to hold them accountable. Like, how many times has this happened? And they're like, this is crazy.
Conveniently, it vanished the moment they showcased this predator catch. Notice as well how I wasn't the one to ask for Discord or Snapchat. The predator did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like this is a common occurrence. Since they're not reprimanding it, these people are very comfortable probably with going through the same ABCs of like, ask age, you know? And then immediately just like, oh, okay. Don't tell anyone. And then just off platform. I feel like this has probably been used more than once.
These were the sort of people interacting with our decoys, and so many people are becoming victimized from people exactly like this.
They were normalizing policy violations on the platform.
What? Roblox's own algorithm recommends inappropriate items to people. Roblox actively posts not safe for work games for
why?
Children. Roblox themselves in this interview doubled down on one of the most infamous instances of inappropriate behavior that they've allowed for nearly a decade. And
did they just get, like, I'm guessing because of all of these things we've seen, they have been sued before, right? Did they just win every time? Like, they have to have been, right? From, I mean, I think they were from the legal proceedings that we saw, like the various different, like the FBI's looked into them, right? Like the government at least, because that one situation, and then the one with the girl, have they never? I just don't know how they got away with it to this point. Like, do they have great lawyers? Did nobody ever sue? Like, it's just it's crazy.
And they're really going at me for normalizing policy violations.
Because I would understand, like, not that this is okay, but like if none of it really like went further to the public eye, right? But, like, a lot of this is, like, public information that you can look up, right? It's like, how does this happen?
And they're really going at me for normalizing policy violations. Absolutely unbelievable.
Normalizing policy. That is truly a set of words.
And the other piece is,
I see.
Oftentimes the sort of evidence that was collected, the video evidence, was really difficult to verify, really difficult for us. And if law enforcement had to verify it, then they're talking about subpoenas. And so I think something that sometimes seems obvious to folks in the community really is just much more complicated on the back end.
I'm not sure how the evidence that I was sending you guys was hard to verify. I sent you guys screen recordings of us scrolling through the entire chat on mobile, and a lot of the stuff that happens is happening directly within Roblox. Like, for instance, when Roblox refused to ban this predator, we got arrested in Hawaii, and he was literally talking in-game about planning the meetup in real life on Roblox.
Yeah, see what I mean? Like, how does this happen?
With all that being said, I wanted to ask someone who's been working with law enforcement and has been doing predator catching since before I was even born. So I decided to take a seat with Chris Hansen
there
to
he
get
is.
some answers.
Oh boy.
I'm Chris Hansen.
We got the OG. We got the OG in here now, man.
I'm co-founder and correspondent reporter for the True Blue Streaming Crime Network. We do a lot of crime and investigative reporting. Our Takedown series, which exposes predators trying to exploit children online. And we also work on a number of documentaries, including this particular project.
Bro, like, as soon as I saw Chris Hansen got in on this, I'm like, they're cooked.
Exposing the sort of thing that goes on.
There's no way they weasel out of this one. It's too big now. Too many people know about it.
Roblox.
I wanted to ask you about some of the comments that Roblox has specifically stated about like predator catching. One of the main complaints is pretending to be a child. I want to know your answer. It's kind of obvious, but the importance of using decoy accounts to just find different predators.
Well, we couldn't do it without using decoy accounts. In the very beginning, we had a
Right, because you wouldn't want to actually like victimize somebody.
online watchdog group, Prefer to Justice, do that work, and now, and for the last several years, it's been members of law enforcement who have posed as children online, merely sitting in one of these areas, and they wait to be approached by somebody who is seeking to exploit children. And then the conversation takes place. It all happens according to the law, and then that gets turned over. Now, I understand that anytime somebody is not with law enforcement, it gives pause to a corporation. It's like, okay, here's this kid. We don't know whether he's following the rules properly. We don't know if he's running this by a lawyer. Maybe.
I think this is good too. I think it's always good to look these things over, right? To be like, okay, what's the intent? You know, these people aren't in law enforcement. Okay, they aren't. We have to proceed with a little bit of caution. This could be a gray area, right? It's always good to make sure, even though, you know, you might hate to see this going on, it's still important to take a step back, right? And make sure you're like using the correct channels and that the person that is like doing this is not adding to the problem.
You could argue that they just don't want that sort of activity on their platform, but you'd think they'd be more worried about the activity that you're exposing.
That's what I've been trying to get at this whole time.
Let's worry about that, number one, and then you can have a conversation with young schlep. I mean, if I were the CEO of Roblox, I would make you an ambassador for security.
That'd be so smart, by the way, like, because he's already doing the work for you. And then you can use him as an example. You hire schlep, and then you literally just say, you know, this is the difference between somebody being helpful, using the correct channels, and somebody who's being a vigilante that makes things harder to deal with, right?
And do what would be a fantastic promotional move.
It would, yeah, and it would only make them look good. It would probably, like, put them in such a favorable light that, you know, it's just crazy.
A little dumbfounded that they haven't figured it out, given that these guys are in the high-tech world who invented this stuff in some ways. You know, why don't they get ahead of it and get a young guy on their team?
Exactly. This is the other problem, right? It's like a lot of these, it's like such a common stereotype that a lot of these people that own these games or companies, right? They are like older and no matter how much they know about tech, they're going to be behind on a lot of things eventually, right? So, but it's like they never want to hire somebody that is really quick on their feet, you know? And schlep is younger, and I feel like that's like an asset to have like a younger adult, you know, who understands, like, you know, has been grown up with tech the whole time and will catch things that you couldn't, right?
I mean, that's what I'm doing with you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. I learned a long time ago that if you're not listening to the youngest guy or girl in the room, you're missing opportunity. You have to evolve and you have to keep on top of this technology and you have to bring new ideas into the room to do your job.
Yes, and also, like, if you have various types of people, young and old, you're going to be able to make these ideas a lot better.
My job is to expose bad people. You are helping.
I mean, the thing is, I've made it very...
And always, okay, just like with Chris Hansen and how he's talking to schlep, it always helps to have more people than less. Even Chris Hansen would probably say he can't do this on his own. He's got a whole team of people that help him. Like, you don't want to be out of touch. You want to have, like, many different people, you know, to help you with this from all different angles. And what happens is a lot of these companies, it's just like a couple people in their own echo chamber at the top who all think the same way, who are all the same age, right? And so, like, a lot of times they're far removed from, like, what's actually going on. Like, that's what happens when you don't have different people, have younger people, have people that play the game, stuff like that.
My job is to expose bad people. You are helping.
I mean, the thing is, I've made it very, very clear to Roblox since the beginning. Give us a private line. We are open to communicate with you. We want to talk with you guys. We know a lot of these really bad actors. And the first official contact I had...
Yeah, they keep like, it drives me crazy, man. Schlep keeps reaching out like an olive branch. He keeps giving them away, you know? Like, he is doing the work for them. It's crazy.
...with them was the cease and desist letter.
Like, the amount of opportunities they had to just handle this differently and like, not have this bubble over the way it has is like, it's pretty insane how many times they just decided to screw themselves by not taking repeated offerings like from him to work directly with him.
Horrible from a public image standpoint. I mean, you're killing the messenger, right? It's not like
it only is going to compile to make them look worse for how many times he's tried to handle it in good faith before he came out with all of this.
you're out there tracking these guys down with, tasers and smoke guns. I mean, you're providing information to the platform to do something about it.
Oh my god, they're going to tase him! They're gonna tase him!
One of the major complaints that Roblox had about me was that I was actually going to law enforcement first before sending their report, just so that they would have a start to finish conversation of everything that took place. Did you guys ever reach out to social media sites before this sting goes down?
Oh, that's a good question. I hadn't thought about this, but he could ask Chris, okay, well, what do you guys do when this happens? What's the correct way to handle this, right?
No, we always go to law enforcement. We work with law enforcement.
Boom. They go directly to law enforcement. They don't go somewhere else first.
That's why the prosecution rate in these states is, like 99.1%. It's law enforcement first, then they can deal with the corporation. The corporation should be more concerned about reporting what it finds to law enforcement to investigate.
I'm going to read to you.
Yeah, because by the way, when law enforcement gets this stuff, it's like they're doing the job for you, right? Because maybe, let's say you're a smaller company than Roblox. This would only benefit you, right? Because maybe you don't have the resources if you're an up and coming game and this happens, right? Maybe you don't have the resources to reprimand this. So it is a good thing in this case that a larger entity cracks down on these people if they're dangerous.
To you a quote from Roblox's corporate blog describing our operations. Similar to actual predators, they often impersonate my actively approach users and then try to lead them onto different platforms to have explicit conversations. We obviously do not talk to these predators. We don't impersonate real children. Our decoys are, adults.
Well, I think if they're mischaracterizing what you're doing, that's wrong.
They are. They absolutely are. All they could say is that he said he was an age that he wasn't. But it's not like they're doing adult RP with these people. You know what I mean? And so, and they absolutely are mischaracterizing what he's doing, blatantly. So,
based upon what you said to me, you don't actively bait these guys in terms of making the first approach. You merely set up a profile as somebody who's underage, and you exist in that room until an adult approaches one of your decoys. Then if conversation takes place, they get exposed, and that information gets turned over to law enforcement. And in many cases, they do something, and then you report that both on your platform as a citizen journalist, a young guy working on these stories, and to Roblox to take action as a.
And this is better, by the way, because otherwise, the alternative is having to find actual victims in order for it to happen.
I thought it was kind of wild how they compared what we're doing to actual predators.
Well, if they're mischaracterizing what you're doing, yeah, that's horrible. This entire project is going to be healthy for Roblox, and it's going to be especially good for users of Roblox.
Yeah, when you think of a predator, it turns out you don't think of somebody who says they're younger and has somebody actively approach them for bad conversations. You don't usually think the person that says they're younger than they are is the problem. No one thinks this,
because anything that creates awareness and a dialogue is important. And you need to tell parents that this stuff exists, that these dangers are out there, and that if your child is approached by a predator, they need to come to the parents. I mean, that's the first line of defense. It's great what you're doing, it's great what I do, and it's really great that law enforcement and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children does all this work every day across the country. It's great that Roblox has a department that takes a look at some of this stuff. What's not great is the lack of connection here that could make it even better and safer. Until that happens, we have to show parents what goes on here, and they have to have the discussion with kids and say, hey, be careful.
What made you interested into getting into Roblox?
I was personally getting communications on social media saying, you need to look into this, you need to look into this, you need to look into this. And then we saw a big case down in Florida where a guy was arrested in Central Florida for and actually giving them Robux and having them exploit siblings and other. It made headlines down in Marion County, Florida. And so I started digging into it. We had good contacts with that sheriff's department there. And we actually, ironically, just did a predator sting, a takedown sting down there. So we started with an interview there, and it turns out that in the same jurisdiction, there was a year-old girl who was exploited on Roblox by a man all the way over in England. And so we interviewed that victim's mother, and all of a sudden all these cases started developing, including the lawsuit by the Attorney General in Louisiana.
It's interesting you mentioned Florida, because we got an arrest there. We got it in Polk County, and it was a guy who possessed.
Polk County, as you know, is where Sheriff Grady Judd is, and they're very active in this space.
Oh, yeah.
We do work with them as well. First of all, it breaks my heart, and I'm so sorry that you had to deal with this as a younger guy on this particular platform. The fact that you were bullied and preyed upon and advantage of, and that it went to the extent it did.
Man, I wonder if this is the first time somebody's actually really said that to him, right? Because any other person, like, that has some type of impact has brushed it off, like as him being the problem, right?
Breaks my heart, and this is why we do these investigations. But to see you at your age turn it into a positive and do something about it, I think is incredible and admirable.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
From a guy who's been kicking around doing this for 42 or 43 years now, it's really cool, because when I started on television, I was your age. I was 22 years old.
Oh my
so
God.
When I see
He was 22 when he started. Dang, I didn't realize it was that long. Like, I didn't realize he was, dang. He looks so much younger there.
2 years old. So when I see a young person do this kind of work, it's very impressive to me, because I know what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, it's very crazy when you start looking into this stuff. I mean, it's a rabbit hole. It only gets more disturbing the more you see. And
well, and since we announced that we're doing this documentary and that you are collaborating, I am overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, I saw a tweet on Twitter. It got like 160,000 likes that you're just even looking into the platform. Because that's the thing. People have known about these issues for so long, but
yes, like people have talked about these. They've probably just gotten silenced or ignored, or learned that no matter how much they talk about it, it's not really actually going to make a difference, right? It just keeps falling on deaf ears.
journalists haven't done enough to like really look into it. And now it's starting to break into the world where everybody is starting to start to be aware.
Well, now you're seeing more mainstream, outlets cover it. And
yeah.
Look, we have the ability to infiltrate.
I think it got big enough, quick enough this time. You know what I mean? That they weren't able to reprimand it or silence the amount of people talking about it,
Infiltrate this world, because we've been doing it for 21 years, first with To Catch a Predator, and for the last 2.5 years at True Blue, our streaming crime network, with Takedown. So we know how to do this and work with law enforcement. Now, a lot of people can go out and do this stuff independently, but here you are, a good example of somebody who has done the work and given it to law enforcement. And that's the key here, because if you expose these guys and, make fun of them and do a Borat kind of thing, like some other content creators, they often don't face the consequences.
Exactly, because that's the vigilantism, where they're taking some of it into their own hands. They're doing the public humiliation, right? Kind of showing them to the public as a means of the public reprimanding them, right? Rather than taking the proof and taking it directly to law enforcement.
They don't have to register as a offender. They don't get prosecuted.
Yeah, and I think the thing is too, a lot of the reason why I have to make this content is because we reach out to Roblox, we give them the emails, we give them all the information. They don't respond until after we publish a video that gets millions of views on YouTube. It makes me concerned, because if we're getting that, what are real victims getting?
Look, I understand a little bit Roblox situation here. What they're trying to do is follow the protocol. When they see something, they are mandated to report that to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which then refers it to law enforcement. And that's good, and they should be doing that. But why they wouldn't also take advantage of information given to them, wrapped with a bow around it, as you have done.
Yeah, like that's what I said, right? He gave them everything they needed. They didn't need to look for it themselves. He found it for them. He sent it through the direct channel so they wouldn't have to. And maybe they didn't know what to do about it, but they could have just talked to law enforcement directly about what to implement in order to help that, right?
Done. It's stunning to me that they wouldn't see the opportunity here to be an ally of yours, as opposed to somebody who, they're making an example of. And saying,
yeah, basically they have a resource. They have the resource of Schlep, who's giving them all the information, Bo-repped. And they could also reach out to law enforcement too. So,
for sure. I don't understand that. From a corporate citizen aspect, it doesn't make sense. From a public relations standpoint, it doesn't make sense. And from a justice-seeking standpoint, it doesn't make sense. So I don't know.
It makes sense if you follow the money, which is the only thing that they're really following. Most people acting in bad faith, if you follow the money, you could figure out the reason. Like, who's got the money? Who's got the power?
And I hope that during the course of this, that I'll get a chance to sit down with somebody at Roblox. And I have a feeling that's going to happen. But I'm going to be posing all of those questions when that interview takes place.
To young people who look up to you and see predators in online spaces, what is the single most important step that they can take to protect themselves?
I would be hesitant to tell people to conduct their own investigations. But I'm adamant that you got to report this stuff to your local law enforcement agency. You got to report it to the service provider. You got to report it to the platform. Hopefully, between those three things, you get some action. I think 15, 20 years ago, law enforcement would be a little overwhelmed by this and say, if you're in a small town, you go to the police department, say this happened, they say, okay, well, I'm not sure how to investigate it. Well, today, every department has the ability to investigate this stuff.
See that? I feel like that's a good thing, right? I hadn't even thought about that. Like, but, because of all the social media only covering negatives, it's like that is true. The one good thing about being, around right now, compared to back then, reporting this type of thing, it's like they may not have had resources, but now they do.
And they are very willing to take these cases on.
It's an absolute honor to have Chris Hansen featured on this channel. Chris Hansen is flying me out soon to actually feature in his Roblox documentary about exploitation. With everything that we've learned so far, one question persists. Why did I get this cease and desist? I'll let this alleged former Roblox employee answer this question for you.
You have to make a decision, right? You keep your players safe, but then it would be less of them on the platform. Or you just let them do what they want to do. And then all the numbers look good, and investors will be happy.
Always the investors, chat. It's always the investors, man. Dang.
You might just be thinking this is one alleged Roblox employee. Well, Bloomberg is claiming that 8 Roblox employees told a very similar story to this in 2024.
No way. They got a hive mind of assholes.
Roblox actively forces victims of the platform into arbitration, a tactic so unethical that platforms like Uber and Lyft actually have policies against doing this. The reason—
What? I wonder how many games besides Roblox or companies engage in this.
The reason they're doing it is even more outrageous. Because this person received so many benefits from using the platform, he cannot now complain that Roblox is trying to prevent him from seeking justice in court for the life-altering harm he suffered. Here's why I personally care so much about this problem.
Who's been offered free Robux to do something that was inappropriate in the game? Or someone has said, I'll give you some free Robux if you come and follow me on Snapchat or TikTok or something like that. Who's had that happen? Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, huge W they're asking at school. Huge W, by the way, to teach this at school. I think this is very good, teaching internet safety to kids. That is very good. This should be a class because of how prominent the internet is now.
Loads of you.
I've seen a lot of corruption in big tech, but I've never seen a company harm this many young people at the scale Roblox has. They can say whatever they want about safety or try to discredit me, but the arrests and their response to those arrests speak louder than any PR statement that they could possibly make. This isn't just about moderation. The rot goes all the way up to the CEO, a man whose vision includes adding dating to this platform. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was wondering how the this could exist. Like, when I heard about this like a year or two ago, I was like, what do you mean? And the fact that, like, back then when he was, like, publicly talking about adding dating to the platform, that there was no pushback. I'm like, okay, why aren't more people upset by this? Why is there not more accountability? Like, okay, I guess it just is what it is. I guess we just all talk about how stupid it is, and we just, that's it.
Defending predatory games like Meep City. It's not even negligence, it's his literal philosophy. The narrative around Roblox needs to change. People have to understand what this platform actually is. Share what's happening, talk about it. Make sure your friends, parents, journalists, and lawmakers know how deep these problems run. Call your congressman and tell him he won't stand by while Roblox puts children in danger. I've been sounding the alarm for over a year as a whistleblower, and Roblox's leadership has tried to silence me. What needs to happen is David Baszucki needs to sit in front of Congress under oath, and he needs to explain why so many people have been abducted and abused on his platform.
I don't know if he would do that. I feel like he won't. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like he's gonna be like, you know, I can't do it. I'm too busy. I don't know, man.
And why his company is choosing profits over safety.
Very true. This was a very good video. I'm glad he's getting so much support. Just to me, it's impressive how long this has gone on for, and like how many like legal issues and stuff have happened, and like just nothing. Better late than never, though, you know.